UMAR AHMED, IFL TV, MCK Global, joined by former IBF world champ Darren Barker.
I'll never get sick of that.
That's why I said it. You know, your face was lit up in Providence. I was there for the Andrade fight.
Was it really?
It was. So before Andrade came out, they had you celebrating after the Daniel Gill. It was really weird.
Not the Matchroom promo video that they do.
Possibly, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it would have been that. I'm sure it would have been that, yeah.
Oh, you regularly in that?
I begged them to put me in it so people don't forget me.
Anyways, Darren, we're here for Dave Allen's media workout. He's obviously late.
Where are we?
12 by 3, Paddington.
Should have done my wink then.
You don't do them anymore, do you?
Now and again. I think people are getting bored of them. It's just stupid, isn't it, at times?
Before we talk about the two Daves, most important question. Happy with Frank back at the club?
Over the moon. Buzzing. Selfishly, for my personal gains as well, I'm hoping I'll be in a box most games now. But no, I am. Do you know what, with the transfer bans, it just makes perfect sense. Who's going to get the best out of the youth and younger setup better than Frank and Jody? Jody Morris was, so successful with the 18s and, the 21s, etc. So, yeah, I think, I'm happy. It's a gamble, don't get me wrong, but it's one I'm glad that they've taken.
I suppose the big question with him is just going to be sort of down to experience, as obviously he had that season at Derby. Similar to trainers in boxing, people might be the same with you. You obviously hasn't had that experience before. So you worked with Dave for the Lucas Brown fight. Do you get them questions sort of raised at you as well?
No, not really. I've only been a coach 2 weeks, isn't I? So I'm sure they are going to come flying my way. But for me, I've been very fortunate. I've been coached by a handful of very, very good coaches. Going back to my amateur days, the legend Tony Burns, MBE, taught me an awful lot. My dad, he was an ABA champion, so he taught me a lot. And Tony Sims, I was with throughout my whole career, 10 years, over 10 years. And for me, I think the key, one of the key pointers, things I've learned from them is to get your point across as quickly and as simple as you can, because people can overcomplicate things, say loads of things in the corner, and look, boxing's simple at the end of the day. It is, it's tough, don't get me wrong, boxing's a very tough sport, but you've only got 2 arms, 2 legs, there's only so much you can do. The difference between winning and losing is very, very fine, and I like to think that I was quite a technical sort of boxer. I had a good pedigree, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. I must have had 40 odd England international appearances or reps, or whatever you want to call them. And I think that's something that I've been able to put onto Dave. Dave's very tough, very strong, very durable, but he hasn't had that, I guess, the technical advice that I can sort of give. And he's taken it on board, and what he's shown me is that he's a very, very good boxer. Aside from the above, the strength and the durability, he can box. He's very. You see him in here, when he's moving around. We'll go through the motions today, but when he moves his feet, there's not many in the heavyweight division who can move as fluently as him. And I'm not just saying that. He's got very quick feet, and I want him to use them in the fight, not just to attack but to defend. So yeah.
Interesting, going back to saying sort of taking stuff from other trainers when you were a fighter. It's exactly what Frank said. Obviously, he's been coached by the best, and he's taken aspects from what he learnt from Jose and Carlo Ancelotti and all the rest. And yeah, I suppose that's the right way to go about
100%. I've learned from my peers and the people that I've been around. And look, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, really, but it was a fact. I don't know anything else. I'm not a genius. I'm not
really
that good at anything. I'm not really. But when it comes to boxing, I'm a rocket scientist. I'm a teacher, a lawyer, a scientist, because that's all I know. I don't know anything else. So I like to think that I can pass all of that on to Dave. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you know the sport inside out?
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. There's always someone who knows more about the current affairs, current scenes, etc. Inside out.
No, but I mean inside the ring.
Inside the ring, I like to think I was, I showed toughness in a different way. But I'd like to think I was quite technical, and I could stick to a game plan very well. And the part of boxing that I love most was that moment where I've sussed my opponent out. Basically, the puzzle in front of me and my opponent, I have solved. And it's like a light bulb goes off. It might be the first, second, third, fourth round, but at some point in that fight, the bulb goes off and I've solved you as opponent, as a puzzle, as an opponent, and there's no chance you're going to beat me. And I think I was very smart in that sense. And I'm trying to now pass that on to Dave. You know, I was always trying to think 2-3 moves ahead of my opponent. Almost, you know, like you always hear, it's like the physical game of chess, which it is. You know, I'll be thinking that I'll throw my jab, they'll come back with a jab, I'll slip it, throw a right, come back to the body. You know, always thinking about what's coming next. And I think that's, you know, my main sort of thing I'm trying now to pass on to Dave, because he has the ability to listen and to implement it in the ring.
David Price has made some comments that he's preparing for a war and wants a war, which is quite surprising, because the best chance for Dave Allen, I suppose, is to make it a war, so it's quite surprising David Price is saying that.
Do you know what? Yes and no. Don't get me wrong, we know how durable Dave is, but we know how powerful and how strong and big of a puncher David Price is. So, in some ways, if you look at it, the longer it goes, the more you favour Dave Allen. So then, why not go for the knockout if you're David Price early? If he understands that his best shot is to get rid of Dave Allen as quick as he can, then that kind of makes sense to me. But doing so, you leave yourself vulnerable. Every time you throw a shot, if you overreach with a right hand, you're vulnerable to a counter. It's just about keeping Dave switched on and not getting carried away. Because Dave, you know, and I see him, I don't know if it was you guys, he did an interview saying it's very difficult to go to war with a man who's got it tattooed on their chest. You know, so it's about me controlling Dave in those early exchanges, or them early rounds rather, that he doesn't get too carried away and want to exchange with Dave Price, because he can whack.
Just going back to what you said again about Dave Allen, about his boxing ability, I've actually heard Tyson Fury before and Team Fury say, because obviously done loads of spars and rounds with him, that he's a very good boxer and underrated, but that's when Dave Allen wasn't really taking boxing too seriously, let's say. So now he is with you and you're getting hopefully the best out of him. Do you reckon we're going to see that next Saturday night?
I hope so. I hope so. I can only tell him so much. He's got to do it in the ring. But like you just said there, like Tyson said there, he has the ability to do it. You know, he's a sponge. He soaks it up. He's a very intelligent man, Dave Allen, and he is inside the. Well, he can be inside the ring. You see it a lot of times with fighters. Their main asset can be the worst asset. We'll take David Price, for example. You know, the fact that he can land a big shot, sometimes you go searching for it all the time. Dave Allen, the fact that he is so durable, he's content just walking forward with his hands up with the aim that he can wear his opponent out. But that will only take you to a certain level. You know, someone relying on their, you know, you can't be a one-trick pony in boxing. So though Dave does have a very good card up his sleeve in the sense that he can tough out his opponents and wear them down, I don't want him to do that, because, you know, eventually you will get found out.
Darren, I'm going to just ask you straight up, do you think David Price is mentally finished? Mentally
finished? I don't know, you know, I don't know. You know, I think he's come across very positive in his interviews, but he has in the past. You know, I admire David Price for what he's been through and where he's come back from, and he's never given up. And I like David Price. We've been roommates in the amateurs. I've known him for years. He's a great guy. And lots of admiration for him. So it's a very difficult question to answer that. I don't know what's going on in his head, as we don't know what's going on in most people's head. I can't work out what's going on in my head half the time. So, but look, one thing for sure, regardless of his mentality, he's a dangerous man.
Definitely. Just ask that question because from previous fights, people are suggesting that he might be there might be something not there anymore mentally. Just going on with his previous fights.
Yeah, maybe.
But he's had bad luck as well, hasn't he?
Look, you know, I think with the Cash Ali fight, he didn't let his hands go as much as he probably would have liked, and therefore, as the rounds went on, especially in the fifth round, he looked vulnerable, didn't he? So listening to him over the last couple of days, I think he might come out there and just think, sod this, last throw of the dice, I'm just going to go out there, do what I do best, and that's throw big shots. You know, educated, big right hands, and it could be the case. And it'd be very interesting if that is, because it'd be about Dave then switching on to one of the game plans and trying to outbox and out counter David Price.
When I interviewed Dave Allen a few weeks ago, he mentioned Alexander Povetkin as a name in the future. Obviously, he has to get past David Price.
Yeah.
Now, as a trainer, when you hear the name Alexander Povetkin, a guy who's been at elite level for so many years, what kind of runs through your head?
There's flex in here because I just was talking about names. The people think I'm nuts, and I am a little bit. It was a name that was mentioned just because he hasn't fought. David goes on to beat David Price, which we're not overlooking at all, not one bit. And I feel a bit awkward and uncomfortable talking about fights in the future when we've got a massive one in front of us on Saturday. So don't look into this too much. But as I guess part manager for Dave, and then you've got to look and try and map out his future as much as you can. And you look beyond David Price, you think, right, David Allen beats David Price. You're in and around the top 15 in the world, and you look at that 15. We use BoxRec for an example. They're all good, very good fighters. They're very good fighters. So you look at it and think, right, who is sort of high risk reward? You look at the likes of Povetkin, who must sit at around 4, 5, 6 in the world.
Definitely.
Something like that. 39, hasn't fought since Joshua. Is he going to fight coming up on the Jeddah bill? I think he might have a little tick over.
Didn't he not pull out of that?
Is he pulled out? I'm not 100% sure. I've been so focused on this. But anyway, look, hasn't had a proper competitive fight since Anthony Joshua. 39, I think turns 40 not long after the 20th. Achieved it all. And I just look at the fight with Dave and I just think, though you're in another level, probably tactically, technically, maybe sort of most departments, but if Dave was to take that fight and he was still there, moving his head, coming forward, missing shots, taking some of Povetkin's big shots, he's still there after 6 rounds and could put a dent in Povetkin's heart, who knows. But this is all crazy, this, you know, again, I feel a bit awkward talking about it, but it's my mind going a bit crazy.
Okay. It's just a name that actually, it wasn't really a rumour or anything, Dave put it to me.
Yeah.
And he's also got the likes of Chisora, he's got a fight with Spilker, that's another big fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've been sparring as well, Dave and Darren?
They had one sparring session up in Dave Caldwell's and it was very entertaining and it would be a fans sort of fight because you'd be edgy as seats and it'd just, you know, it'd be fireworks. But not a fight that I'm too interested in, if I'm honest. Just, you know, look, who knows? It's not for any reason really. I just sort of want to go down a different sort of path.
Okay. Darren,
I don't want to rob fans of big fights. So don't worry. I'm not going to wrap him in cotton wool.
Cotton wool. Darren, appreciate your
Cheers,
time.
mate.
Best
Thanks.
of luck at
Cheers,
the
mate. Thank you.
See you soon.
10 minutes away.